So let's start with the design of the combined trapezoidal footing. So why we prefer this kind of footing when there will be the restrictions against the length of the footing. So on the both side of the footing, that will not be on the same width, as well as the length that will be restricted against that area. It means the footing when that will be interrupted in the other property. So in this kind of cases, you will find out that the length that will be restricted there. So then we will provide there the trapezoidal footing. So this is the case we have, in which you can see here we have the two columns with the distance of the 5 meter, and the load above that is 1600 kilonewton and 2400 kilonewton respectively. The sizes of the columns are 600 mm into 600 mm and 750 mm into 750 mm, and design a combined footing for the columns. The projections beyond the center of the column parallel to the length of the footings are limited to 0.8 meter and 1.4 meter respectively. So approximate weight of the footing may be taken as 320 kilonewton, that is given to you, and the safe bearing capacity of the soil, that is 300 kilonewton per meter square, which is also available here. And we have to use the M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. So this is the data actually we have, in which we have the two columns with the axial load of 1600 and 2400 kilonewton and center that is 5 meter distance. The sizes of column are 600 into 600 and 750 into 750 mm. On the one side projection we have 0.8 meter, and on the other side we have 1.4 meter. Weight of the footing that is available, so there is no need to add the 10% of the approximate weight of the weight on the approximate load. So in that case, we just need to consider this weight of the footing which is given, and the safe bearing capacity that is also available here. So let's start with the design. So the solution, as I told you earlier, this is the case where the length of the footing is restricted, so hence the trapezoidal footing should be provided, and the total length of the footing that you will get, we know that the center to center in between the column distance, that is we have 5 meter, and one projection we have 0.8 meter and other one we have 1.4. So the total length of the footing that you will get after adding all these, so this is the total length of the footing which we will get here, that is 5 plus 0.80 plus 1.40. So this one is the total length, that is 7.20 meter that we have, and the width of the footing be A and B at the left and the right extremities. So these two footing we have, so such kind of the shape that you will get, in which two different sizes of the width. We have these two sides that we can say that this one is the A side and this one is the B side of the footing. So the dimensions A and B should be selected such that not only the necessary area of the footing is provided and to transmit that load to the soil safely, but also the column load must pass through the centroid of the foundation plan. So this is the main condition we have, the whole load that should be passed through the centroid. Okay, so there are not such kind of the compulsion like that just the area required that will be fulfilled there, but as well as the whole load that will be passed through the centroid also. So the step number 2, here we have this is the total load on the columns, that is 1600 plus 2400 kilonewton. So we have to add this load, then the weight of the footing that was given to you, that was equal to 320 kilonewton, and the total transmitted load to the soil. So this is the load that will be transmitted to the soil after adding all these. Then we have the safe bearing capacity of the soil that was also available. So with the help of that, you can calculate here the area of the footing required against that. So this is the 14.40 meters square. This is the area required against this load. And this one is the area of the trapezoidal footing, in which we have length is 7.2. And against that, we can get this value a plus b is equal to 4. So we all know that a and b is the two widths we have on the side of the footing. So the first thing that we have to do that the step number 4, this is the distance of the resultant of the column load from the axis of the column A. So from the axis of the column A, we have the load of the column B, that is 2400 kilonewton, and with the distance of 5 meter, and the total load we have divided with the total load, that is 4000 kilonewton. So this is the resultant that is equal to 3 meter we have. So always try to pass the load through the centroid. So this is the figure that you will get. So this is the case actual A and B. Here you can see that with the projection of 0.8 meter, A and B are two columns with the load of 1600 and 2400 kilonewton, and 1.4 meter on this side projection, that is not 14 meter, it is 1.4 meter, and the total length we have 7.2 meter. This is the column size given to you about the plan, and this is the A and B that you will get. How you will get here? So let's see in the next step. So in the step number 5, that you can see here the distance of the centroid of the trapezoidal footing from the left edge. So from the left edge, that will be lie at the 1/3 we have. So about the length of the 1/3, so is equal to the 3.8 meter. And how do we will get this 3.8 meter from the left edge of the footing? Because this one here we have the 3 meter. This is the resultant from the axis of the column A. So when you will add the projection 0.8 from the left edge of the footing, the total that you will get the 3.8 at the center of the footing there. So from this equation, then you will get the value of A plus B. So with the help of the A plus B, here we are getting the 4, and you will get both these value A and B. The A is equal to 5/3 and B is equal to 7/3, that you will get after solving this equation. Then after calculating this one, here we have the next step to calculate the net upward pressure intensity against the total load, against the axial load on the column. So this is the total load we have, and this is the area required against the load. So this is the upward pressure intensity that will be at the 2500 by 9 kilonewton per meter square that you will get here. And so after that, we have some useful journal expressions. So it is worth obtaining the certain journal expression which will be useful in the further competitions. So in which first one, the width of the footing at any section. So these three expressions are very important that you will get. So width of the footing at any section, distance the x meter from the left edge. So let the width be meter, and at a section distance x from the left edge. So we have to calculate the width b, that is the on the x distance from the left edge of the footing. So see this figure. So we know that here we have these two width, and so let's take the x distance where we have and where we need to calculate the, it's like somewhere here the x distance that you will get, and we need to calculate here the width of the footing. So which is equal to the a plus b minus a into the distance we have divided by the whole length, and against that the b dash, the width to the x distance meter, that you will get here 5/3 plus 0.0926x. So this is the width we have. Then the net upward soil pressure on the footing for a distance x meter from the left edge. So what will be the net upward pressure intensity up to that distance, up to the x distance, which we are considering from the left edge? So and the area of the footing for a distance of the x meter from the left edge, what will be the area will be there. So the area after integrate this, the b dash, the width of the footing, that you will get the area there, that will be 5 by 3 x and plus 0.0463 x square. And the net upward soil pressure for a distance of x meter from the left end, what will be the, so when you will be multiplied by this area, the net upward pressure intensity, that will be multiplied by this area that you will get after the integration of the width of the footing up to the x distance from the left edge. So the V that you will get here, this one, plus 12.86 x square. So this is the shear, this is the, you can say that the upward pressure intensity that you will get from the left edge to the x distance of the footing. And the moment that will be when you will integrate the shear again. So that was the shear we have, that is the upward pressure intensity, which is acting above that area and the width of the footing up to the x distance. So this is the moment that you will get there, 6250 by 27 x square plus 4.29 x square. And that will be x cube here, 4.29 x cube, not square here. So these are the expression that you will obtain in step number 11. So these three expression that we will, one is b dash, this is the width of the footing on the x distance on the left edge. Then we have this shear force above that area up to the x meter distance, and then we calculate here the moment up to that distance. Okay, so is that clear up to this step?
Yes, sir.
Then we have then we need to calculate again, we need to calculate here the depth of the footing slab. So for which we are considering here the bending moment consideration as well. The depth of the footing slab should be determined from the consideration of the bending moment. So what will be the bending moment there? The bending moment under the column A and under the column B. So here we need this x distance to calculate the moment. So the bending moment under the column A, so we know that the x distance from the left edge of the footing under the column A, that is the projection we have 0.8 meter from the left edge. So this is the projection, that this is the x distance here as per the bending moment when we are calculating the bending moment under the column A. So 0.8, that will be need to put against the value of x. So here you can put that this value and calculate the value of the bending moment in this equation as per this equation. So this is the bending moment under the column A, that is 150.2 kilonewton meter. And then bending moment under the column B, the distance that will be 5.8, because 5 meter, that was the center to center distance between the two columns, that was A to B, and 0.8 was the projection from the left edge. So the total distance that will be from the left edge will be 5.8 meter. So the x here, that will be 5.8, and against that you will get the value of the bending moment under the column A, that is 622 kilonewton meter. Is that clear up to this step? Then the maximum hogging moment, the section where the shear force is 0. So the shear force, it is 0 at a distance x meter from the left edge. So what will be the shear force which we calculated in the previous step? So that was this one that we calculated in the previous step. So the V, that was 12500 x by 27 plus 12.86 x square Newton. So as per this, the x distance from the left edge, and we have the load on the axis, load on the column A, that is 1600. So as per this x distance, so with the help of the quadratic equation, that you will get this value x 3.175 meter from the left edge. So bending moment at that x, now the maximum hogging moment due to on this distance that you will get after putting this value. So the moment that was 6250 by 27, and this distance that we are getting here 3.175 plus 4.29, and minus this, the x distance we have from the left edge of the footing, and minus the distance of the projection of the footing from the left edge up to the column A. So this is the maximum hogging moment that we are getting here, 1328.6 kilonewton meter. So now we have all these three movements, the two sag and one hogging movement will be there. So this one is a figure that you will get after calculating this. So this is the maximum hogging moment here, that is 1328.6 kilonewton meter. And then we have these two sagging movement here, the 150.2 kilonewton meter and 622 kilonewton meter. Then the point of contraflexure, that you can also calculate with this expression as well. So equating the general for the bending moment, that will be 0 there. So the x distance we have here, the bending moment is 0. So up to that distance from the left edge, this is the load we have, and this is x distance, and this one is a projection against that. So here you can also calculate the value of the x for the point of contraflexure. So with the help of this quadratic equation, that after solving this, here you will get x is equal to 0.93 meter and x 5.35 meter. So these 2 points that you can mark here as per. So these 2 points here, 2 point of contraflexure with the distance from the with the axis of the column A, that is 0.3 meter, 0.13 meter and 0.45 meter. These 2 points that you will get. So let E and F be the point of the contraflexure, and the distance E from the axis of the column A, that after subtracting this this projection, and that was 0.93 that we are getting from the left edge, and minus this one is a projection from the left edge of the footing, then you will get here 0.13 meter. And from F, the F point, that is 5.80, the distance from the left edge of the footing, and this is the next x value we have from the left edge of the footing, that is 5.35 meter, and the remaining that you will get here 0.45 meter. So both these points that you can show here with E and F. Okay, these 2 points that we have, E and F. Is that clear up to this step? So the width of the footing at now, after calculating this distance, you can also calculate the width of the footing. So the width of the footing that at the x distance from the left edge of the footing, that was 3.175 meter. So that distance was 3.175 meter. So after putting this x distance in the B dash equation, the width of the footing up to the x distance. So here, this one is the width that we are getting here, 1960 mm, the 1.96 meter. So now you can calculate here the near the effective depth with the help of the width of the footing as well as the percentage of the steel and the area of the steel. So factor moment, the bending moment we have. So this is the maximum hogging moment, that is 28.6 when you will multiply it with the partial safety factor. So this is the factored maximum bending moment here we have. And when you will equate with the ultimate moment, you will get here the D. So this is the width that which we calculated in the previous step after putting the value of the X 3.175 meter in the equation B dash. So this is the width which we are getting up to the X distance. So up to that distance where we have the maximum bending moment, this is the width, that will be the width there, near about, and this is the effective depth that you will get after equating the limiting moment to the ultimate moment. Is that clear? And provide an overall depth to the 850 mm and providing the, so this is the depth after increasing 30 to 40%, you will you can provide that 850 here. So we are decided to provide here the 20 mm dia bars at the clear cover of 60 mm. So the effective cover to the reinforcement, that is 70 mm. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
So after calculating the actual effective depth, we need to calculate here the reinforcement from the bending moment consideration, in which for the maximum hogging moment, we have, this is the factored the ultimate moment we have, and B into D, B the width to the X distance, and this one is the effective depth which we calculated in the previous step. And as per this, we can calculate here the percentage of steel. Here they're getting 0.519%, and the area of steel against that. So 26 bars or 20 mm dia, that is 8164 mm square, the area of the steel. So which is more than that the required area that we can provide here. Then we have the bottom steel under the column A for the sagging moment. So bending moment under the working load, that was 150.2 kilonewton meter under the column A. So width of the footing here as per this. So width of the footing, when you will put the projection, the left projection we have from the axis of the column A, that is 0.80 here. So when we are calculating the width of the footing, and that area, because the width is varying there in along the length of the footing, so that's why when we are calculating the load under the column A, this length that will be considered from the left edge of the footing. So 0.80. So after putting this value, we are getting here this width 1740 mm. So here the width that will be different when we are calculating the moment under the column A. So that will be 0.213, and the percentage of steel is 0.06%. So which is very less as compared to this. So again, the minimum percentage of steel as per FE 4 and 5, that is 0.12%. So as per this, the minimum percentage of steel that we can provide 1629 mm square. And as per this, the 6 bar of 20 mm dia, and the required area, which is more than the available, that is 1884 mm square. The bottom steel under the column B for the sagging moment, so bending moment under the column, under the working load, that is 622 kilonewton meter. And ultimate moment we have this one. So again, the width of the footing under the column A, so that we will need to consider the X distance from the left edge of the footing, that is 5.80 meter. The center distance between the column, that is 5 meter, and the 0.80 is the projection from the left edge. So the total, the X distance up to the axis of the column B, that is 5.80. So that we need to consider. So as per this width of the footing, that is 2200 mm. So this is the maximum width of the footing that here under the column B. So after putting this value again, you can calculate here the percentage of steel and the area of steel against that. Okay. Is that clear to all of you?